welcome to Blend It Yourself, episode number 4 of
Brutal Battle.
So most people may be saying, wow, I had not heard that episode format in quite some time. And yeah, it's been basically a year and a half since...
Really?
Yeah. The last one was, the third episode was about a year and a half ago. And that was the one where it was blending in the sense of steeping different teas in different beers. And go back and listen to that episode if that sounds interesting, because there were some good combinations that came out of that. So I do recommend steeping tea in beer. It's a thing. So we were inspired. I was like, at some point over the past month or so, I was just like, we haven't done a blending episode in a long time. And it's always fun. So you feel like a mad scientist. It's a good time. So we have some things lined up for this one. What we're going to do, the format of this is we're going to taste through 4 different beers and just evaluate them the normal way we do it. And then we're going to pause real quick. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make up some predetermined blends that I was thinking could work. So we're going to have a bunch of those blends then sitting in front of us. We're actually going to share the glasses for those. So that might move a little bit slower for that reason, because we don't have a million glasses and we don't have a million ounces of each of these beers either, because we have to kind of conserve it. So for each blend, we're going to use the rule that we kind of learned from our first few blending episodes, which was 75% of the base beer and 25% of the beer you want to put a little bit of the flavor from in it. So each one is going to be 75-25. So it'll be 4 ounces each. It'll be 3 and 1. So that's how we're going to do it. So just so you know. So, do you have anything to say?
No, let's get tasting.
You're just like, let's drink.
Let's
I'm
go.
ready to go. Okay, so the first beer we're going to do, and I know people are going to be like, what are you going to blend that with or blend with that? This is by The Brewery. It's from their Rue Keller line, and it's their Rue Keller Helles, which their Rue Keller line is always different lagers, basically. So this is their Helles style lager, and it's 5.2% alcohol. And all these are 60. Well, the first 3 are 16-ounce cans. The fourth one is 12 ounce. So let's get into this. And it's been, I drank one of these recently, so prior to me drinking one of these, I'm handing Rebecca the can, very absent-minded at the moment. So prior to having this beer a few days ago, we haven't had a Helles in like...
Long time.
Yeah, who knows, like forever, pretty much. So,
okay.
What does it look like?
Nice and light and yellow.
Yeah, it's kind of hazy. Kind of clearish, kind of hazy.
It smells so clean and so crisp. And like straw.
I get a lot of honey coming through on it. It smells... Actually, it's not just like honey. It's like a rich, like honeycomb. Because it's almost a little bit waxy to go along with that honey sweetness. Yeah, so it's like a rich honeycomb. Definitely that straw in there as well. Yeah, it smells very rich, very clean. It almost smells a little mead-like in a way.
Yeah, I just took my first sip and I could definitely see the mead. You definitely get a lot of honey in the flavor for sure. But it still is nice and crisp and light and refreshing.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of... Yeah, it's a big honey kick. That straw you're talking about, that's definitely in there. But yeah, it's a lot of honey to it. It has a really nice clean finish. And like we were saying on the nose, crisp, refreshing. Yeah, it's an easy beer. It's easy, but it's flavorful too. And for being a lager, it has a lot more body than you would expect from it.
It does. You're right.
It also has a little bit of a bitter kick at the end. It's not a lot. It's like kind of this light bitter kick to it that you're not expecting, but it is a nice way to finish the beer, in my opinion. That pairs well with the crispness of it. So,
it's good.
That's a good one. Like really nice, light, refreshing, tasty. That's a great one for anyone who likes outdoor situations, events, whatever you're going to do outside. Okay. Now the second beer, this also in a 16-ounce can. This one's by Union Craft Brewing. And the brewery's out of Placentia, California. So this one's Union Craft Brewing out of Baltimore, Maryland, one of our favorite breweries from our state of Maryland. This is their Michelle's Granola Porter, and the ABV on this is 6.2% alcohol. So I believe this is made with some of the Michelle's Porter. So it is a vanilla almond porter.
You mean Michelle's Granola?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Michelle's Granola. Yeah, this beer contains nuts. So this is in collaboration with Michelle's Granola. Michelle's Granola is an actual company. We have had their granola quite a few times.
We're pretty obsessed.
Yeah, really, we keep it stocked in our house at all times, basically. We eat it multiple times a week because it is that good. It's like small, artisanal, handcrafted granola. It's a bit of a splurge, but it is phenomenally tasty.
And it's local, so.
And it's lighter than you would think for granola. That's the other thing. It doesn't, like, fill you up in a bad way like granola can sometimes. Just feel, like, super heavy. It's amazing, though. But anyway, this looks like a porter to me.
It's dark.
It looks like the head is a little bit creamy, but it's got the head's relatively big bubbles on the top.
It's, like, so vanilla-y.
Oh, my gosh. I don't remember it smelling that vanilla-y.
No, I don't either. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had this, though.
It has, yeah. Ooh, it's just like vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah,
it's beautiful nose to it. It's just this amazing vanilla and chocolate, and it's not like a vanilla extract or any sort of artificial vanilla. It's like legit vanilla bean type smell, and just a really nice milk chocolate too. That's what the chocolate is, very milk chocolate.
And it tastes exactly like that. Tastes like vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah. But then there's a little bit of an ashy finish on the end. Because it's light. You know, there's a good roastiness to it. And since this isn't like an imperial stout, it's not super heavy on the body. Therefore, it's not going to be like a rich, creamy chocolate. It's more of like a light chocolate with a bunch of that kind of malt roastiness coming in at the end, and that's where that ashiness is kind of forming.
It's good, though.
But I definitely get a lot of that vanilla. Can you say almond for this?
No. This is another... We can never find our nuts in our beers.
Having a hard time locating our nuts.
Yeah, I can't find the nuts.
Yeah, no. I don't taste almond in it, but plenty of vanilla, which is great. A good amount of chocolate. I
mean, maybe that's where the creaminess is coming from.
Yeah, maybe. Because like the proteins from the almonds making it a little more serious in the mouthfeel. You know, here's something to point out on this. A lot of the times when we have porters, we taste them and we're just like, it just makes me want a stout, or most likely an imperial stout because they're thicker, more serious. This is one of those beers where it brings more than enough flavor that we're not saying that when we have it.
I think one of the few porters that I really like as a porter because it's so flavorful and it's light and
yeah, agreed. So number 3.
Number 3 is Wit the Funk with apricots. It's a tart wheat ale brewed with spices, aged in oak foeders with apricots. And it is by the brewery. They're Teru.
Teru. I don't know exactly how to say it. I say Teru.
Teru. It's 5.2%.
All right. I've had this one for a little bit. Yeah, this one's a bit over a year old in the can, 16-ounce can. So, we'll see. Now, obviously, I picked this one for the blending to kind of try to bring some kick, some fruitiness to the party. That's been my plan with it, so we'll see how that goes. Okay. There you go. Let's evaluate the sucker first.
So it's light yellow, hazy.
Oh, and so people know, there is a regular Wit the Funk by the brewery. It's just without the apricots. There's no fruit added. That's the regular Wit the Funk. This is just a special version with fruit. So, yeah, it looks like a Goza maybe, something like that. It's very hazy, but like yellow. There's barely any head to it, honestly. Even if you swirl it up,
it smells so tart. Like it's making me like salivate.
Ooh, yeah. It really it's making me salivate too. Just smelling it, like. I feel it in the back of my throat, in the back of my mouth, like the sides of my tongue in the back. Yeah, they're just going.
Definitely.
Oof.
You could say apricot, you could say peach, but definitely one of those later stone fruits.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of the apricot. It's very fruity. It smells... As I keep smelling it, though, it's starting to... The nose is mellowing out a little bit. My nose is getting used to that sourness, and it's becoming a little more sweet on the nose, and more of the perception of that actual fruit. And there's a little funk. There's a little funk.
Man, it's tart.
Ooh. Yeah, that kicks you in the palate real quick. Real quick.
I feel like I'm flemming up already just after one little sip.
It's like a serious lemony tart. It's not even tart, it's sour. It's like a serious lemon sour.
It's good. I wish it was more fruity, though.
I get the fruit.
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to get past the first few sips in order to really get to the fruit, because a lot of the fruit initially is being covered up by that really severe sourness. So once your palate acclimates, then you can start pulling out the fruit mainly. Ooh. This is one of those fruited beers, too, where because of what the mouthfeel is, I feel like I can taste, like, the fur on the fruit.
Yeah.
Like the apricot fur. Does apricot have fur?
Apricots don't.
Peaches do. Well, it reminds me of, like, the peach fuzz.
Fur?
Like that
the fur or the fuzz?
The fuzz. It reminds me of the peach fuzz and that, like, kind of texture in my mouth. Which is kind of weird to say, but, you know. That's good, though. I like it. I could do a 16-ounce can on my own. Ooh. I would have so much phlegm after that, though. I would prefer to share that, though. What's our last one, Rebecca?
Okay, our last one is called Master Blend by 6 Point Brewing.
Okay.
6 Point Brewery. It is a bourbon barrel-aged stout.
Yeah, so apparently it's an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels for years, and they kind of make a master blend over all the barrels. They kind of blend it, basically, to make it as smooth as possible, supposedly. So.
And it's 13%.
And where's 6 Point out of, did you say?
No.
They have a few locations. Brooklyn, New York, which is their initial location. Parksburg, Pennsylvania, and Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Oh. So 2 locations in PA. Interesting. And this is one of their signature skinny 12-ounce cans. We've had this one in our fridge for a bit. So this one this one's just from December of last year. So it's like a bit over 6 months old, basically. Don't want to pour too much. Especially at 13%. Okay, here we go.
It's dark.
This sucker.
And I am already getting whiffs of bourbon.
Yeah, man. That's super dark looking. Looks relatively thick. I'm going to swirl it up. Yep. When you swirl it up, it's got legs coming down the side, coming down very slowly. Looks kind of viscous. The head, there's not a ton of head to it. What head there is just large bubbles. But what head it has is pretty tan.
It smells so good. I just love the smell of bourbon barrel aged beers. It's like that vanilla and like the dark, like burnt sugar, brown sugar, caramel. Mm-hmm.
Yep, all those things for sure. I get a little bit of woodiness to it. You get a lot of the bourbon coming through, but it also smells soft. You know how when you have like a bourbon barrel aging on an imperial stout like this, sometimes it smells kind of hot from the alcohol heat, or it's a little overpowering. It's all the good characteristics from the bourbon nose are there, but it also smells soft. And I get some nice chocolate coming through in the end as well.
It just smells good.
Oh, that smells so good, dude. Oh my. Yeah, that's heavenly smelling. Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's smooth.
Yeah, that is deceptive as hell.
It's really chocolatey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's got a nice chocolate going on, but other than the chocolate, I get a lot of vanilla to it.
Yeah.
that there's a little bit of heat burn, but there's no way you're going to guess 13%. No way. I mean...
Not 9, 10.
Yeah, I would guess it somewhere 9 or 10. Maybe 9.5. But that's insanely smooth. You know, it's interesting because it actually seems, even though we're getting a good amount of the chocolate, the actual beer seems more on the bourbon side to me, flavor-wise.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that vanilla coming through. There's a lot of that caramel at play there. And then I am getting a good amount of the wood coming through from the barrels. But that's a pretty excellent beer.
It's very good.
For barrel aging, if you want one that's not going to, you know, well, I mean, alcohol-wise, it could kill you, but that's not going to kill you palate-wise, that's great. Like, if somebody is into Imperial Stouts and they want to get into bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stouts, this might be a good start. Because it's got that bourbon barrel aging with a lot of the great flavors from it, but it's not... It's smooth. It's easy. It's approachable.
I was just going to say approachable.
Yes, super approachable for what it is. All right, so we're going to stop right here. I'm going to pour up the blends, and then we'll get into it. But for you guys, that's going to take no time at all. All right, so we put in all the work. That took a little bit of time to get it done. But we have 7 beers in front of us, all pre-mixed. The first one we're going to start with is actually not a blend of 2 of the beers. We had something pop up, and I was just like, let's try this. And what is that, Rebecca?
It is the Helles Lager with watermelon juice.
Yeah. Rebecca was eating watermelon before we started recording. And you know, there's always, like, if you get a pre-cut little package of watermelon.
Just any watermelon in a container, you end up with juice at the bottom.
You have juice in the bottom. So I was like, why don't we try some of that juice with the Helles Lager? And she's like, I don't know. So we did the 25, 75%. So 75% Helles Lager, 25% watermelon juice. Straight up watermelon juice. So, Rebecca.
It smells like watermelon. It smells really good.
Well, let's see. You didn't want to do this one. And I was like, let's do it. It should be fun. It should be interesting. What do you think?
Tastes good.
Yeah, it just smells like watermelon with some of that Helles, like the honey coming through and some straw. What does it taste like?
It tastes like beer with watermelon juice in it, but it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It you get that kind of light refreshing note from the Helles, and you get a good amount of the honey, and then you get lots of watermelon character and sweetness from the watermelon too, which kind of blends in with the honey.
I think that's good.
Yeah. It is good. The only thing is the bitterness at the end is a little weird with the watermelon, but once you get past that, yeah, it's not bad. So there you go, people. I think with a Pilsner, too, like any lager, really, something like light and refreshing, maybe even a pale ale, to be honest, just put in a little bit and use the rule, 75-25. Yeah, so we did, 3 ounces of the Helles Lager and 25, or
1 ounce.
1 ounce
Of the watermelon juice.
So that's thus far kind of a winner. We're going to need some water. Did you want to...
No, we don't.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Yeah, these things should be different enough. Okay, so then the next one we're going to... This is a blend of 3 ounces of the Master Blend Imperial Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout and 1 ounce of the With the Funk, the sour with the...
So this sounds like it's going to be so
apricot.
gross.
So I guess I'll go first on this one.
Go ahead. I think a lot of these just sound gross.
So it's interesting because it smells a lot just like the Master Blend, but I do get a little bit of that apricot peeking through
Yeah, you
it,
do.
like a little sour.
Yeah, you do get
tinge.
a little bit.
It's not off-putting on the nose though.
No, it smells good.
It's
on
just
the
like
nose.
an addition of fruitiness
Yeah.
to what was really nice with the Master Blend. All right, I'm going in. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It's just infusing some fruit character into that Master Blend.
It's not bad, but it's not good. Like the Master Blend is so good by itself that I don't want that.
So I would say it's interesting. It's not bad at all. It's decent. I think that one of the things that it does do is it increases your perception of the actual bourbon.
Oh, see, I was going to say it decreases my perception of bourbon.
Oh. For me, it increases my perception of the actual bourbon and a little more of the alcohol, and decreases my perception of the chocolatey notes and the vanilla notes, and has that kind of apricot fruit coming through as well.
I mean, you definitely do get the apricot coming through, for sure.
So I think this kind of...
I don't want that in my stout.
Right. Yeah. So I would say, for both of us, probably, this is a better way to enjoy your Wit the Funk and a worse way to enjoy your Master Blend, basically. So you're dressing the Wit the Funk up some, you're dressing down the
As Carlin was, like, pouring these beers, I was like, don't use too much of the Master Blend. I really like that. Don't ruin it.
Yeah. Well, and this is our only can of Master Blend, but I didn't use a ton of the Master Blend, so...
Don't ruin it. It's so good on its own.
But that doesn't taste bad.
It's not bad,
There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, okay. So next is this one is 3 ounces of the Helles Lager and 1 ounce of the Master Blend. Now, that sounds very crazy, very weird. But
so it's mostly the Helles Lager.
Yes. Yeah. 75% Helles Lager, 25% Master Blend.
And it smells a lot like the Helles Lager.
Right. But what does it get from the Master Blend? Let's see. It could be terrible. I don't know. Yeah, it does smell a lot like the Helles Lager. There's a lot of the honey just hanging out.
And I would think the Master Blend would be the one that would power through that, even though it was only 1 ounce. But I guess not. It wasn't enough.
So what does it taste like?
It tastes a lot. Not as much honey, but a lot of the straw still. Yeah. It tastes a lot like the Helles Lager still.
I get a little bourbon coming through, but no chocolate, no vanilla, no anything really except that bourbon. But the bourbon's also kind of mixing with the honey, so it's hard to get, but it's kind of there, and you do get a little bit of an alcohol bite shining through on it. Which makes sense because, a Helles Lager is not really set up to hold up to a high ABV. So that does make sense. It's
kind of just like a murky beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really have its own characteristics. It's kind of just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I mean, literally, it's like the Helles Lager, but with a little bit of, like, an alcohol heat to it. And like a slight taste of bourbon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad, but yeah, it's not that great.
Okay, what's this next one?
Okay, so the next one then is, that one is the...
Michelle's granola was something, because I smell that vanilla.
Yeah, that's the granola porter, Michelle's granola porter, which is the vanilla almond porter. 3 ounces of that and 1 ounce of the Wit the Funk. What does it smell like?
It just smells like the Michelle's granola porter.
Well, I would... Yeah. Do you get any fruit coming through, though? No fruit at all? Okay. I mean, maybe it overpowers it. I don't know. I would think it wouldn't as much.
I get it in the taste, though.
Yeah, I don't smell it at all.
No.
I don't smell the Wit the Funk at all. It's just a lot of vanilla. It's just like domination of vanilla, really.
I think it tastes gross.
Oh, I don't. On the end, though, the end gets like really funky and kind of a weird,
barf.
Yeah, it's a little like bile-ish acidity on the end.
No, thank you.
Initial taste, that one kind of works. And then the finish of it doesn't work.
Makes it, like, negative, like, hell's no.
Yeah, that's
negatory.
Yeah, I'm not digging on that one. That's the first one that's the worst one thus far, I think. Okay, so the next one is 3 ounces of the Helles and 1 ounce of the Wit the Funk.
Okay, this is the one I've been excited for, because I feel like this could actually be good.
Yeah, it could be good. When I was thinking about all the blends and coming up with them, I thought that one probably had the potential to be the best. But that was before the watermelon happened. So.
The watermelon took the cake.
Ooh, it smells good.
Yeah, it
smells
smells
really
really good. It tastes good. I tell you, this actually could be one of those ones where we do 50-50 because there's not as much apricot in there as I would like.
I'll tell you what it does do. It takes the sweetness in the Helles Lager down a lot.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Which I was going to say, which isn't a bad thing because that Helles Lager is dances on the too sweet.
I actually like this a lot.
Yeah, that is good.
I think it makes it taste even lighter as a beer. It takes some of the body down from the Helles. It takes the sweetness down, the honey down, and it kind of makes it a little more crisp and clean and easy. And then it adds like just a nice fruit character, that apricot coming through.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, you could probably go a little bit more, but I think if you do go a little bit more with the funk, you're going to get more of that sourness coming through. It's probably
gonna then overpower.
So I think the 75-25% blend is probably the best place for these two beers. But that's good. I like that. I think that's really good. That's awesome. I really like that. I think that's really cool. Okay, so now I think I did the inverse on the next one. Yeah, that's the 3 ounces of With the Funk and 1 ounce of the Helles Lager. So
okay, which makes sense because it smells just like With the Funk.
Right. So this is the opposite of what we just had. Now, my thought on this one was that maybe it would dilute the With the Funk a bit.
It does, but not that much because that With the Funk is so strong and so sour.
Yeah, it just smells like With the Funk.
Yeah, I think the Helles Lager kind of got lost in it because I don't smell it and I don't taste it. I mean, it's definitely less sour.
Yes, yeah, it's less sour. I think it's a little more sweet. I do get a little bit more of like a honey actually coming through on it. It thins it out. You know, it makes the With the Funk a little more sessionable by, taking that sourness down and thinning out the body. So I like that it does that. This might be... Well, I mean, this does go back to what you said about the other one of the 50-50, I guess. You could do that. But I really like it at the 75% of the lager and 25% of the With the Funk.
It just depends what you want.
But once again, this isn't bad.
No, it's not bad.
And especially if you tried the With the Funk like you did, and you were like, ooh, this is too sour, this is too much. This softens it. Mm-hmm. So it's in a better, I would say for you, and actually for me too, that this version of the With the Funk with that 25% Helles Lager is actually better, in my opinion, than the straight up With the Funk.
Sure.
I enjoy it more. So, all right.
What's this last one?
The last one is, and actually we're moving a lot faster than I expected, which is fine. The last one is 3 ounces of the Helles Lager and 1 ounce of the Granola Porter. Although I think we're a little off on that. I think it's actually... We didn't have enough of the Helles, so it's...
like 3 ounces.
I think it's 2 ounces to 1. So it's 1 ounce of the Granola Porter and 2 ounces of the Helles Lager.
I thought we got 3 ounces.
No.
Well, it smells... Oh my gosh, this smells like exactly like both of them together.
Really?
Yeah.
That's...
Smell it.
I don't know what that would smell like. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Because it smells like that crisp, clean Helles Lager, but it also smells like the ashy, chocolatey vanilla porter.
That's actually good.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like both of them together. It tastes like the honey. It tastes like honey, vanilla, and chocolate.
Yeah. That is good. That's very good. And that ashy finish from the porter, it's still there, but it's very light. It's even lighter than it is in the porter. Yeah, that one's really good. Mm-hmm. Wow. It made the porter easier. It brought extra bitterness to the porter, actually, which is interesting and is working with it. The only thing kind of sad about this one is that it brought the vanilla down, which, because
it did bring the vanilla down.
The vanilla in the porter is awesome. So, but hey, man, I dig it.
Well, this was interesting.
All right, so what blends do you think are real winners here? What should people replicate if they feel like it? Ugh.
I don't know, because I think I like them all straight better
Straight
than
better, okay.
than blended.
I don't think you like the With the Funk.
No, but I don't
better.
think I liked it blended with anything either.
Okay, so I will say personally, I really like that Helles Lager, but I actually like the Helles Lager better when it has that 25% with the funk in it.
Oh yeah, that was good. I'll
That's
say
really
that.
good. I think that's really tasty. So if out there, if you can get a Helles Lager, or really any lager in my opinion, and you mix in, 75% that, 25% of some sort of like fruited sour, that could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is really good right now. And then I think that this mix of the 3 ounces of the Helles Lager and the 1 ounce of the Granola Porter is really good. So give that a try. I mean, you're just infusing some darker notes into a lighter beer.
I mean, I think
good.
the watermelon in the Helles Lager is good.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the watermelon. You were sipping it again.
I took another sip because I was like, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, that is good. Try that at home, people. Just put some watermelon, literally the juice left over from the watermelon, just put it in your lager. 75-25, that's usually the rule. Actually, I might even go a little less, to be honest.
You think so?
If you want.
You wanted to put more.
I did think about doing more. I think it makes it a little more sweet with more. So I think if it's like half an ounce to 3.5 ounces, that might be more what my palate wants. But you like it how it is.
Mm-hmm,
right?
I like how it is.
Okay. I still like it. It's just, and that's the one you were like, no, don't do it.
I
It's
know.
gonna be
I
too
was
much.
like, it's gonna be weird.
But is that your favorite?
It might be my favorite.
Okay. Right. Well, regardless, this was fun.
Yeah, it was
right?
interesting for sure.
That's what I love about these blending ones is that it's just fun to do, and because you feel like a mad scientist. And the other thing is we're always surprised.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you have ideas of like maybe this will work, and sometimes you feel like they're far fetched, and sometimes you feel like they're a sure thing, and it'll end up where the sure things don't work, but the far fetched ones actually do,
Yeah.
and And the other thing is, another reason I wanted to initially do this format of episode when we started doing it is just to say there's a lot of beer blending that goes on from breweries out there, but you can blend at home, and it's really not hard at all.
Just like Master Blend. It's
Yeah.
so ironic that's on the episode.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. So in the end, we're just going to rank the straight up beers themselves because we got to do a ranking at the end. So of the 4 straight up beers, what is your ranking? I think our number 1 or number 4 are going to be the same. What about you? Actually, they might all be the same.
Might be all
Let's
the
see.
same. My number 4 is With the Funk with apricots.
Yeah, that is the by the brewery, the tart wheat beer brewed with spices and aged in an oak foeder with apricots.
My number 3 is the Helles Lager.
Yep, that's the brewery's Rue Keller Helles Lager, Helles style lager.
My number 2 is the Michelle Granola Porter.
Yep, that's by Union Craft Brewing. That's their vanilla almond porter.
And then my number 1 is the Master Blend by 6 Point.
And that is the Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels and blended by 6 Point. Yeah, mine's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Agreed. We're on the same page. But this was fun. People, if you have ideas out there for beers to blend that you want us to do on this or styles to blend, go ahead and send an email. And also, if you've tried any of this at home, any of your own blending or anything that we've done, try to replicate it. Let us know how it goes. Email us at brutalbattlepodcast@gmail.com. It would be fun to read that, find out, and get your suggestions on what we should be blending in the future. But thanks everyone for checking this out, and until next time.
Keep it brutal.
I feel so